Hi, blessed morning, everyone. Hope all is well.
Thanks, Kevin.
Samantha here from MCKL, and I'm so sorry for the delay. We have been having technical issues. Um, I will be your host for today's talk. We will discuss on the future of
Mr.
accounting
Har
for young
accepted.
graduates. Joining me today are four wonderful individuals, two from MCKL itself, Mr. Lau Chin An, who is the ACCA course advisor at MCKL, and also Mr. Kelvin Wong, who is the ACCA Senior Lecturer at MCKL.
David, can you
Joining them, there are also two other gentlemen who are joining Mr. Lau and Mr. Kelvin today. They are the experts from the industry itself, which is Mr. Vincent Ha, who is the Senior Talent Manager at Deloitte, and also Mr. Ivan Tan, who is the Senior Business Development Manager from ACCA Malaysia. I would like to welcome all speakers today, and we will start off with Mr. Kelvin Wong. Mr. Kelvin, I would like to ask you, what is the fastest track, to do ACCA? Should they do CAT? Should they do something else in order for them to do ACCA after that?
Thanks, Samantha. Hey, hi everyone. Now, this is a very common question that we actually get from school leavers and the public in general. Well, just a brief introduction on what is CAT. CAT, known as Certified Accounting Technician, is actually designed as an alternative by ACCA as an alternative to pre-university courses like A-levels and STPM to give school graduates a fast-track route to pursue an accounting qualification. So it focuses on subjects like financial accounting, management accounting, business management, finance, and taxation over like 9 papers in 1.5 years. So it is a stepping stone to ACC qualification, and participants who sign up for CAT will have a fast track route to ACCA. So another question is on students who think that, what if I don't have a background? Can I still join CAT? Of course, yes, because the nature of CAT is designed to prepare you from scratch. It starts you off from ground zero and build you to have basics in financial accounting and management accounting. And once you have completed CAT, you will move on to ACCA, and you will be exempted from 3 out of 13 papers, and you will just complete the remaining 10 papers, saving you significant time and costs in the process. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kelvin. Mr. Lau, as the ACCA course advisor at MCKL, I would like to ask, what are the myths about ACCA and CAT? Is it difficult to pass?
Mr. Lau, you're muted. Okay, I'm so sorry. The mic is muted. Early morning, we've got a lot of technical issues, and we are accountants and we are not IT guy, and of course, this catches a bit off guard. Okay, and it's really awkward, as I'm talking to the screen. I have to imagine I'm talking to lots of you behind there. Okay, there's really a lot of myth out there when it comes concern to this qualification. So I think I got to touch on a couple of things like parents or even students themselves are asking. One of the main myths that people say is professional program like ACCA is impossible to pass. Yes, the word is like kind of like, in Chinese use the kwajiong, okay, like a bit overrated. They say it's impossible to pass. Most of the time, students, they don't actually know much about all these kind of programs. So what they do is they hear, and most of the time they get feedbacks from parents and uncles, aunties, or even those way senior that have been through this pathway. And can you believe that that's like 25, 30 years back kind of advice when they might have been through the pathway. And if I use my experience like way back to 20 over years when I started my ACCA, we are actually doing modular basis. It's like you need to pass all the 3 papers in one go. Can you imagine like you pass 2 papers and you fail 1 paper below 30 marks? Let's say you just got 28. And what happened is ACCA will tell you, we're sorry, you have to repeat all the 3 papers, including the 2 papers that you've passed. And that is the kind of things that actually been holding back a lot of students and say that why ACCA is so impossible. And this modular system that we've used in the past, it's testing very different capabilities of ACCA students. You know, they are testing like how much can you put in your mind, how much can you carry, can you handle it? You know, because of that difficulty, we even hear nowadays that parents or even a lot of people are advising the young students like, you better don't do an ACCA right from the start because you can't pass. So what you do is you start a degree, that at least get something in your hand, and then after that you come in and try your ACCA. So that kind of perception is something that we hope to clarify, that it's kind of different now because I mean, if you look at example, we have in MCKL, we have students that do very, very well. Our pass rate, even in the more advanced paper like strategic level, we have pass rates is as high as like 80%, and that doesn't really click into the statement that this is very difficult to pass. In fact, ACCA has changed the way they do the assessment of the student. That there's no more modular system. You know, those days people are looking at testing how much can you remember. But now we are not looking into how much you remember. We don't look at just IQ alone. In fact, ACCA came out with this, they call the professional quotients, that it's not just IQ or EQ. We are looking at your technical skills, your creativity, your digital, in terms of your vision. Now that is the kind of things that we need. So it's gone are the days where people say that this is an impossible to pass kind of program. The IT has advanced so much. The way we are able to harvest information is so much better, so much efficient, and we're talking about a very globalized, connected world. So that's the first myth, that it's really not true to say that this is impossible to pass. Now, another myth that we usually hear from even parents or students is ACCA is an accounting qualification. You know, we always get questions from parents like they say, my son is not good in math, or my daughter is not good in math. Can I do a ACCA if I'm not good in math? You know, we are not mathematicians. We don't do difficult calculations or formula. You know, we just need a calculator will do. Accountants, all right? And we are, okay, maybe I use some fantastic word that sounds so much better about us. So we are strategists, we are investigator, we are the one that go and find out what kind of wrong that people have done, and then, you know, how you might have cheated, that kind of thing. We are problem solver. You know, like look at COVID-19 right now. There's so many businesses that's going to run into financial crisis. But before this thing is even taking place, you know, good financial accountants, good professionals, good management accountants would have give pre-warning and tell them on how they would have managed the risk, so that even when things like that come, we can maneuver. You know, obviously everybody is going to be hit. You know, we will be affected, but those who are more prepared, they will be able to get through. And when they can get through all these kind of things, you're going to come back very much stronger. So that is us. We are problem solver. You know, we are truth seeker. We are like a movie director. You know, you'd be thinking like, what do you mean by movie director? You know, I give you a set of accounts with numbers, but we have to tell stories behind the number. You know, look at, for example, like a lot of people walking down the road and ask you, can I buy this company share or not? Is it good? Now, what basis do you have that you can use to tell people whether a company is worth investing? How do you see value in the companies? You must be able to tell from their accounts, from the reports, what is their business model? What are they good at? How do they spend their money? Do you think this is a very prudent company? Or do you think this is a very aggressive company? Will there be growth? You know, companies cannot have value if they cannot sustain the growth. And that's our job. We are an analyst. So there's so many kind of jobs that we hold, which of course I'm using a lot of fancy words here, but you know, positions like auditor, accountant, cost accountant, decision maker, CEO. That's the kind of things that we can do. So it's not an accounting qualification. We've been telling people that this is a professional qualification. Now, and probably I want to touch on another thing is the education cost. You know, we know that most parents have an issue about how much do I have to pay. I'm a parent. I have 4 kids. All right. So and we always ask the kind of questions like, how much do we have to save for our children's education? You know, there's some programs that you have to even spend millions if you want to send your kids to overseas. But how much does an ACCA program will cost? If you're just going to complete the whole ACCA program, it's probably around 50,000. And look at the ROI. You're going to spend 50,000 for your child education. And I think this is so fast, the kind of payback. As a graduate, if you work in Malaysia, if you join, for example, in the Big Four, you're going to get 3,000 plus a month. In less than 1.5 years, you've got all the payback of your investment for your kid. You know, you don't have to settle yourself with heavy debts. And we have high demand in jobs for ACCA or this kind of professional qualification. I mean, okay, look at, for example, when company is doing well, they need people to handle money for them. Companies are not doing well. They're more needing people to handle money for them, because whatever time you need people that they are savvy in dealing with finances, you know, everybody needs to know your accounts. You need to know your figures. So let's say that this is the kind of qualifications that we don't have to worry about. There's no job. All right. Now, perhaps later, Vincent or Ivan can share a bit about what kind of prospects that this modern world going to have. You know, there are people who've been saying that, you know, accountants be replaced by robots and stuff like that. Now, coming back to this cost, people are looking at, so if ACCA, it's a cheap qualification because you don't have to spend so much, there must be a lot of people studying ACCA, right? I mean, if you look at it, I just throw a figure for you. We have about 32 million population in Malaysia. What do you guess the number of ACCA members do we have? Now, I'm not sure, you know, Ivan probably can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we have around 18,000 ACCA members. Now, that put us to such a small percentage. You know, some people jokingly always say when you talk about probability, they'll say, hey, this is even, that means you have lesser chance of bouncing into an ACCA when you walk down the street and you hit lottery. Because that's the small number of ACCA members that we have in the market. Now, of course, every year we've been feeding about 400-500 ACCA graduates. But why will the number be so low? Well, you have to remember that this is a cycle. The old members will retire. And not only that, we have, you know, Malaysia is this fantastic thing about our ACCA graduates is they are a hotcake. They're selling like hotcakes overseas. A lot of them like to grab our ACCA graduates. Well, this is an international qualification. You know, you're taking the same exam the whole world. So whether you pass it in Malaysia, you pass it in UK, you pass it in Singapore, it's the same kind of exam paper you're sitting. So the recognitions that you have, it's the same worldwide. So when you become an ACCA in Malaysia, you know, there's so many countries out there that are willing to grab you. And think about this. As an ACCA in Malaysia, you might get, let's say, 3,000 plus. Imagine in Singapore, ACCA graduate is getting also about 3,000, but it's Sing dollar, you know. That's like 3 times. And because of that, there are some Malaysians that they are more willing for their career progression to, you know, leave home and then go to Singapore and explore their career opportunity. Now, because of that, we've been exporting a lot of accountants, which is something that the country doesn't like, that because we have this brain drain problem. Now, I hope this covered quite a number of myths and give you a picture about this qualification. All right. Thank you, Samantha. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Mr. Lau. Other than CAT, Mr. Lau, can you tell us a little bit about the Oxford Brookes degree option?
Oh yeah. I think just now I mentioned about a myth where some students are being told that they do a degree, and then what they do is Sorry, we're working from home. There's this kind of sound coming in. Now, you see, the problem is when students are doing a degree before they come into an ACCA, they are told that they'll be assured of a qualification, all right, before they get an ACCA. But do you know that in ACCA, we do have an option that when they finish up to certain level of ACCA, they can actually get a degree. Now, this is an arrangement that ACCA has with Oxford Brookes University. So what they do is they have to complete all the foundation papers. We call the applied skills paper. Now, all in, there will be 9 ACCA papers. You finish all the 9 papers, you just do a thesis, a research paper, and then you submit to Oxford Brookes, and then if they pass you, you're going to get awarded a degree. Now, of course, there's some tiny details in between, but that shows that even before you've completed your ACCA, your qualification has been recognized in such a way that they will award you with a degree. All right. Now that is what we're saying. So why like waste the kind of time to run out from ACCA and do a degree, which might take years, and then come back again to do ACCA? Now, I really like to usually throw questions to people who choose this pathway. Now, what makes you think that if you don't go through a straight path from ACCA itself, it will be easier later on when you come in? All right, you know, you're not exposed to ACCA culture, you don't study ACCA syllabus, so that they do have a lot of challenges when they come in. Now, and the motivation is really different, because I mean, sharing from our experience, we do have students that because they've got a degree, and then when they come in with an exemption, they find that there's no motivation to push them to work that kind of hard for the ACCA, because they've got something. You know, that is why being hungry for your qualification makes a lot more difference. So you can do your ACCA, you can get a degree while doing ACCA. Now, of course, they have questions like, will my degree be recognized? Well, we have students that get this degree, apply job in the Big Four, and they're recognized as a graduate, a degree graduate, and they're paid as a degree graduate. So I think that gives you another view of how this course progression will look like. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you, Mr. Lau. Kelvin, I have a question for you. After doing CAT, there are individuals who plan on doing an accounting degree. Which one is better? Is it, should they just proceed after CAT to do ACCA, or should they do an accounting degree and then go for the ACCA qualification?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Samantha, for the question. Yes, we also received this in the Q&A on what's the difference between doing a degree and ACCA. Why would ACCA be better? Now, this is also a very common question from school leavers on which pathway that they should take to pursue accounting. Now, to let you decide, let me just share out there are 3 factors that you can think of. First one is on cost, which is a major factor, especially like what Mr. Lau Jinan was saying just now, especially in such a current economic climate. And the second one is on your student experience and exposure, on what do you actually want as a student. And the third is on preferred learning style of each student. As like what Mr. Lau was sharing just now, the professional accountancy route is actually a relatively cost-effective route, as the whole journey will cost you about 40,000 to 50,000 over a period of 3 years, or depending on how you would like to structure your pace to complete the papers. So some may take a shorter time, or some may want to extend it longer. ACCA does give you the flexibility. Whereas a degree from a private institution can cost you about 60,000, 90,000, or perhaps more than 100,000 if you're pursuing it overseas. So if budget is a key concern, the recommendation would be professional courses can be a good option, as it is relatively cheaper actually. All right. So having said that, what about nature of the course? Professional accounting courses, just bear in mind, can be quite technical in nature, and the assessments are purely examinations covering A to Z of the subject matter. So this experience may be a turn-off for some learners who may prefer a variety of assessment styles such as group works and discussions. So to answer the question, an advice to a potential student will be to understand yourself. Ask yourself what is your preferred learning style and evaluate your needs and direction before you decide on which one to sign up. So suitability is very important. It's like matchmaking like that. Yeah. Samantha.
I see. Thank you so much, Kelvin. Now, everyone, we have with us Mr. Ivan Tan and Mr. Vincent Ha. Ivan Tan is the Senior Business Development Manager at ACCA Malaysia, and Mr. Vincent Ha is from Deloitte Malaysia. He is the Senior Talent Manager at Deloitte. Mr. Ivan, I have a question for you. How does ACCA remain relevant in the modern world?
Hi, Samantha. Thank you for inviting ACCA. How is relevant? Okay, first thing first, looking about today's world, people now talking about IR 4.0. So that's the most of the conversation that we're having, not only for the students, but also the parents. So what is IR 4.0? It's actually technology that we are using day to day and how technology will affect our life. So in ACCA, we are actually started many years back implementing computers-based exam, okay, for our CAT graduates so that they can be relevant to the market. That is only the foundation part of ACCA CAT. But moving forward next year, all ACCA papers starting in July 2021 will be fully computer-based exam. So that's the first thing that we are implementing. We want to start as a student so that they can answer all our papers all in computer-based. So we did the first move. Second move is the subject that we will be teaching. A lot of students or the public talking about data analytics, okay, talking about IT. All these subjects we already implemented in our syllabus. Okay, sooner or later, what students learn, it will be more practical in the future. I still remember what our ACCA member said. This is an exact quote that he said before. Why he likes ACCA graduates is because they have the knowledge and the theory part. They are fine with that. What he said is correct. We provide all the theory part, all the importance part that ACCA teach, all in our syllabus. So it's all relevant to the markets world. And of course, every 5 years, every 7 years, we will update our syllabus according to the market needs. So in fact, our strategic professional papers is a new syllabus that we recently updated. That's called SBL and SBR. So all these subject is according to the market needs, and the main important part is the employer's need. No point we churn graduates, but end of the day, employers do not want the graduates. So that's why ACCA still remain the preferred professional qualification that the world needs now. Hopefully I answer your question, Samantha.
Yes, Mr. Tan, thank you so much. Mr. Vincent, coming from a HR background and talking about ACCA and the future of accountants in Malaysia, what are the hiring managers basically looking at when hiring accountants and financial executives in the industry right now?
Hi everybody. So hopefully you can hear me, right? Okay. All right. So obviously I'm from Deloitte. Okay, so I can't see all of you out there, but I believe you all are very excited here. Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to answer all your questions now. Huh? All right. So anyway, Samantha, to answer your question, what do we look for in graduates, right? That is huge. There's so many angles to it, guys. All right. So sometimes, the basic thing that we look for is, of course, academic excellence. Okay. All right. We are looking for certain criteria, and since you guys, I was told, majority from CET, and most of you will be progressing to your ACCA. All right. So most of what we will look for generally is candidates with a good track record in your exams. Okay, all right. So that's the key thing. All right, that's number one. Okay, and number two, we are always looking for graduates who are all-rounders as well. So I know that you guys have absolutely almost no time for anything else except to go for Mr. Lau's class, you know, or Mr. Wilson, right? Go for classes and that's it. Exams and classes and exams, and maybe have a short break in between. However, I have seen before as well students who are able to balance their work, their study life, okay, and they're still active at the same time. All right, in terms of their extracurricular activities. Okay, so try your best. Of course, the key thing is to maintain your good grades. All right, if possible, and I put it if possible, yeah, guys. All right, if possible, get into, you know, a Malaysia Prize winner, right? Aim for a World Prize winner, whether you are in your fundamental papers or whether you are in your, of course, professional papers, all right? And I think it's absolutely possible. You have got the best teaching, you know, facilities here in Malaysia and in MCKL, all right? You guys definitely have what it takes to do well. Okay, so that's number two. Okay, and number three is a little bit of you know, and this is true. Okay, number three is to always look out there, look outside, guys. All right, for competition. There's plenty of business competitions out there. Okay, you know, you have the Maybank ones, the CIMB Bank ones. Okay, so you have to be smart, guys. Okay, you have to go for those competitions hosted by the places that you want to join. All right, so let's just say you want to go into banking. All right, you look for, you know, competitions organized by banks. Okay, right? Or if you want to go into, you know, advisory services someday. Okay, all right, so you look for competitions hosted by consulting companies, advisory businesses. All right, so for example, Deloitte has got our risk intelligence challenge. So far I have not seen any rep from MCKL yet. All right, so you know, this year is a little bit special, guys. Okay, because of the virus situation, therefore we do not have as much competitions which would have normally been running at this point of time. Okay, right, so same thing, you know, risk intelligence challenge, you might want to go for the audit business challenge, tax business tax challenge, and Deloitte tax challenge, DTC. Okay, and these are all opportunities for you to get closer to your, you know, hopefully your potential boss in the future, because the judges, the people, they are all, you know, yeah, our managers and directors, you know, and maybe even sometimes the partners themselves get themselves involved as well, right? So these are I think these are very long answer, you know, but I guess the key number one thing is your results, okay? Because we are talking about ACCA right now, okay? Professional qualification students. All right, so hopefully that answers your question, Samantha.
Thank you, Vincent. Apart from that, you know, Ivan, I have a question that relates to Vincent's answer. You know, must ACCA only serve, you know, for people who want to be in to work in accounting firms, or you know, what else can they do other than be an accountant or finance executive?
Okay, very good question. Of course, a lot of students or the public, they prefer to go to the two top specialized work, that is audit and tax. Why audit and tax? Because that's the most, a lot of firms are looking for audit and tax, but that's not only the job that they require. That's something that for the public to know. ACCA, why we are changing our perspective on, we are moving into more on the business perspective. We want to tell the public that once you study ACCA, it's not only you'll be studying tax and audit, but you can study management, you study law, You can study a lot of relevant subject. And you can see from our members, we have a lot of members who are entrepreneur. We have a lot of members who have their own company, and they are businessmen, businesswomen. They are very successful person in life because the foundation that ACCA brought you to that. Of course, when you start that time, you need to learn a lot of skill set. I believe once you go up the ladder, you become managers and senior managers, and of course, you will know which industry and which segment of job that you would like, and ACCA will provide you that. And don't worry about what you want to become actually, because nowadays with IR 4.0, you can work from home. There's a digitalization. The world is yours. You can do whatever you want. We have also members who are musicians, who have their own restaurant business, fine dining, or not relevant to accounting and finance industry. They own businesses, so it's up to you, your choice. End of the day, follow your dreams, what you want to be, because every one of us are unique. We would like to become what we want to be. So don't worry about that. Just like Vincent said, study hard. Make sure that you know your stuff well, and I believe you'll be a successful person. Same goes to all our members out there that where they started this study. Study is not easy. Challenges, there's always challenges in life, but don't worry, with the support by Methodist College or where you studied, I believe with a proper guidance, you can pass all your ACCA papers.
Thank you, Ivan. So guys, you do know that other than, when you have an ACCA qualification, you don't actually have to work in an accounting firm. There are many opportunities for you out there in different industries. Mr. Vincent, I have a question relating to IR 4.0 as well. With IR 4.0, how will it actually affect the future of accountants in Malaysia, more or less the world, especially with the COVID pandemic happening right now?
All right, so we get this question a lot. All right, so okay, let's tackle IR 4.0. Yeah, so a lot of firms, and well, I can't answer for the other firms, but Deloitte has been embarking on the the journey, okay, all right, of going into embracing technology, okay, all right. So and we didn't just do this during when the pandemic started, okay. So this has started happening a long time ago. We have our analytics team, okay, we have got our assurance teams who are actually already using and embracing big data in a big way, okay. At least 5 to 10 years ago already, we have already began this journey, okay. We have got the entire team just taking care of data analytics, okay, all right. And we use our own proprietary systems, our own proprietary software, okay, things like Deloitte Spotlight, and things like that. And I think this has really changed things a lot, okay, all right, in terms of because everything that about auditing, guys, all right, is traditional, is what mom and dad used to do, okay, all right. So it's those days where I think none of us here is old enough, we're all quite young here, all right. So you probably did not experience that era, but I heard and I was told that doing audit, you got to carry huge ass files, all right, that you have to bring along, okay, and back to the office and things and all that, right? So, and you have to look long hours, and how accurate is your audit sample, yeah, things like that all come up, and I hear from partners sharing their experiences where you can only test a sample size, guys, okay. You can't test all the data, okay. You have to make your analysis based on that sample that you have chosen, okay, and make a decision based on that, okay. So accuracy is one thing, all right, in terms of your audit findings, all right. So that's very important, and Deloitte has already embarked in that journey, like I told you, okay. So, and with technology coming in, guys, all right, things have actually improved, okay, all right. So you all probably hear about the, you know, all the horror stories, you know, people having to stay back late at night, you know, auditors having to stay during peak period, busy period, you know, having no life lah, no, never see the sun's rise, you know, and things like that. You know, all these things are changing, guys. Okay, so R 4.0 is there to help auditors, okay, and not just auditors, but every facet of, you know, professional for professional firm, okay. So you got that, and you know, and things get done much quicker, okay, all right, and therefore, you know, you have time for other things, of course, okay, all right. Of course, you will still be busy, guys. Don't get me wrong, okay. You will still be busy, but you will be doing a lot of things, a different kind of busy, all right. You will be doing a lot less manual work, okay, repetitive work, things like vouching and things like that won't happen as much anymore. Although it's good practice, yeah, to learn stuff like that, but in real auditing, you will no longer you know, do that anymore, okay. That part will be taken care of by the robots, okay. Whereas as young graduates, okay, what will happen? You will then need to start doing the thinking work, the analytical work, okay, all right, which analytics will also help you to make those decisions as well, all right, okay, and which is why, you know, just to ride on Ivan, you know, ACCA's answer just now, you know, the syllabus keep changing, okay, we can't keep using syllabus which mom and dad used 50 years ago, right? So things continue to change and continue to improve, right? So if you're thinking, oh, it's a sunset industry, I think, you know, or sunset job, you know, accountants are not needed anymore. I think those couldn't be further from the truth, guys. Okay, all right. So I hope I answered your question, Sam, Samantha. All right.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Ha, thank you so much.
Right. Okay.
Mr. Ivan, how can ACCA be a passport to a global career?
Okay, thanks, Samantha.
No worries.
Thanks, Vincent. Okay, ACCA, we always tell students we are recognized in more than 179 countries globally. And it's true because most of my friends who are ACCA members, they are everywhere. I have few of them in Singapore, I have few of them in Hong Kong, and I have one particular friend always travel around the world just to visit companies, which I enjoy. I look at it and envy what he does today. It's actually the global recognition, and a lot of employers, MNC company, they prefer ACCA graduates because of the global qualification, and they know that ACCA graduates is trustworthy, and they learn all the general rules in accounting and finance textbook, which I think that's good because we speak the same language globally. Okay, the what we teach in ACCA in UK, London, same as what we taught in Malaysia. So it's something that we always encourage new students to join ACCA because of this. Second point here is also partnership employers, which we have close to 7,000 over approved employers globally who prefer ACCA graduates. Like I said, ACCA graduates remain one of the preferred choice, not only for students, but of course for employers. So it's something that Don't worry, graduates. Depending where you want to go, like I said, depending what you want to be, okay, where do you want to go or where do you want to work, you can work. It depending on your dreams, what you want to be end of the day. Hopefully, I answer your question, Samantha.
Yes, Mr. Ivan, thank you so much. Everyone, we will be opening the room for questions. We have received a number of questions. I will read it out loud and perhaps the speakers can answer accordingly. The floor is open to whoever that wants to answer. Okay, so the first question is, how advantageous is an ACCA qualification compared to other accounting qualifications such as ICAW or Sema?
I can answer that.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
All right, I would say ACCA will be relevant, but I won't downgrade other professional qualification because I believe all professional qualification is they have pros and cons, and it's all the hardness to study is still quite difficult. I won't say ACCA is easier. I won't say that other professional qualification are harder. Okay, it's something is depending on the students because we are different in terms of exam. Okay, the technique. Okay, the question. Curriculum more likely will be similar. I do know some professional qualification focus only for management accounting. Okay, but ACCA is all rounder because you'll be studying not only management accounting. You study a lot of other stuff. You know. You study business law, you study performance management, you study our new syllabus, strategic professional leader, strategic business reporting. It's all, the name also quite sophisticated. It's called strategic professional. So it depending, okay, like I said, all professional qualification, they have a bit almost similar, just that maybe some focus on more on other subject. Some will be different in terms of what they learn and all day, and also the exam technique.
Can I add into that?
Of course.
Yeah, I think we are talking about a qualification that will attach with you. And the next questions that we're going to ask is, how sure are you that what you have with you is able to carry you for the next 20, 30, or even 50 years? You know, we're talking about something that has to make you stay relevant. So this talks about the requirement on both sides, that not just the member, and we also talk about the professional body itself. Now, this is based on my experience that with ACCA, I mean, running and involved, being an ACCA myself, and also teaching ACCA program for like 20 odd years. We can see ACCA, it's ever changing. They adapt very well. So doing the right thing at the right time, it's very, very critical. You know, you can talk about bringing the most advanced technology, but you realize that at that point is not the best time. It's just a waste of time for the technology to be introduced. In fact, it's going to cost so much more resources, and you find that it's not effective. So what ACCA has proven, they have always been able to keep up and stay relevant. You know, they change themselves in the right time, and that will make this qualification and this body stay alive. And when the body is alive, is able to support the members and is able to support the kind of jobs that need us. And we have to take into account as well as you know, all the professionals, they require members to keep themselves relevant by having professional development. So that is another things that are going to make a lot more different. I'm just going to add on to that point. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you, Mr. Lau. Just out of curiosity, this is open to all speakers. If not me, but then if there were a student who did CAT and then wants to proceed towards ACCA, do they need to go for like industrial training to get experience, you know, to make sure that they really want to do ACCA or an accounting degree? Does any one of you have an opinion on that? Mr. Vincent, since you're in HR.
Well, you're asking the question as in a professional degree in accounting? Could you, right? Yes. Which do we prefer, is it?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, all right. To us, you know, like a big four, like Deloitte, to us, we take whatever comes fastest, quickest, cheapest, most affordable, right? So we are just practical that way, all right? Because that's just how we are formed. That's just how the firm runs. Okay, it runs on a timesheet. Everybody runs on a cost. Okay, so there's always the P&L to look for. Okay, that's reality, lah, guys. Okay, right? So if you are talking to me about from a hiring perspective, do I want to hire someone who graduated from Harvard, Yale? Probably yes. Okay, all right, because you know, it's Ivy League university, you know, very prestigious, very good for branding. All right, you know that we can attract graduates from Ivy League. Okay, so that's an example for you. But guys, you know that whether you come from whichever background it is, the key thing to remember is for us, we need people to who are well equipped, okay, to join us, all right, to get the job done, all right. So let's just say for instance, if you graduate with a complete package, for example, okay, all right, meaning you have got your your fundamental papers done, you have got all your P papers done, your optional papers done, you get it the right papers done as well, okay, then it's like, oh, okay, all right, that makes our job a lot easier, okay, because that would eliminate the study contract, that will eliminate the need for us to track your progress, all right. That would be the case if you were to join us and study part-time, okay. That means those would be the case if you do not get enough exemptions, okay, right? ACCA, you still offer exemptions, right? So you still have to take papers, F6, F7, all right, and depending on your the university degree, okay. So therefore, we will look at whoever has the most complete product. Okay, so let's just say if you were in the case of someone who came from MCKL, okay, and we do have people, all right, some of your seniors who are with us as well, okay, doing pretty well too, okay, all right, who join us maybe with a paper left. Sometimes we accept that as well. Okay, or those who have absolutely completed everything, all papers, and so to us it's like, oh, okay, this is complete, this is fantastic, okay, let's take them in, all right. So but having said that, we definitely still have got a good mix of people from the degree pathway, okay. We have people who and these are fantastic people too, all right. So so that's how we look at things lah. Yeah. Hopefully that shed some light a little bit.
Thank you, Vincent. Yes, it did. I have a question for Mr. Calvin Wong. What do I need to do to nail a good job post in ACCA with an ACCA qualification? What should I focus on as a student, and what subjects are important?
Well, thanks, Samantha. Now, good question. Well, I would say that all subjects are actually equally important because you need to have a balanced understanding of all your subjects: financial accounting, management accounting, auditing, and taxation, so that you can have an integrated knowledge on how to solve business issues. I mean, that is like what employers are looking for. They do not want to look for someone who is having a little bit knowledge just on one area, but very good on another. you cannot integrate your knowledge. So I would say the answer would be all are actually equally important. But do note that in ACCA, in your final strategic level, you get to specialize in 2 out of 4 option papers. So that is where you can path your direction on. But before that, I would say all papers in the skills in level 1 in CAT, all are actually equally important and should be treated equally by students. Yeah.
Thank you, Kelvin.
No problem.
Sorry, can I hijack that?
Yes, yes, you can. You can.
Because I want to use this opportunity to sell a bit MCKL.
Oh, sure.
Now you see what we are talking about in employment, it's you all are going to have a basic same qualification. So I'm going to have in front of me 10 ACCA graduates. So why would the firm or your potential employer would pick you? All right. So what stands out in you is going to be one of the most important factor, which of course then we usually prepare our students on how they need to write their resume, and then how do they actually handle interviews and that kind of things. Yeah, we can prepare students on that. We find that hirer or employers now are looking beyond your technical skills. They are looking at even in terms of your values and your characters. And in MCKL, we actually stress on that a lot. You know, our core values is always about loving God and loving others. We try to relate that to our students in all the things that we do, because at the end of the day, it's you that make a difference. It is not the knowledge. Now, of course, in terms of skills, we think that there's a lot other things that you can add on and give extra value to your employer. You know, look at like these situations like COVID-19. The MCO came in just so suddenly. So there are a lot of companies are actually basically, you know, in a mode of they lost, like don't know what to do. So employees that has skills like, for example, work collaboration, IT collaboration, they have digital skills, actually has an extra advantage. And because we see that, what we do in MCKL is our ACCA program are also embedded with this ICDL courses to enhance the student. We get students to learn advanced spreadsheets. I know when we talk about spreadsheets, a lot of people will say that, yeah, I know spreadsheets, you know, that table thing and I put numbers, but we're talking about advanced spreadsheets. You know, example, do you know how to do macro programming with spreadsheets? Not many people know how to do that. Okay, now we talk about advanced presentation. We talk about online and online collaboration, and we're looking at digital security, because in this modern world, the digital threat is going to be so serious, and you need these kind of skills to have an edge. Now I'm sorry, I gotta hijack this and sell a bit of program, and you know, at the end of the day, we are here to tell you why ACCA and MCKL. Samantha, sorry, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Lau. No worries, no worries. But I actually do have a question for you from one of our viewers. The question is, do passing higher rates play an important role in ACCA to seek a job? Or, you know, passing above 50 is good enough?
It's my question, is it?
Yes, Mr. Lau.
Okay. Well, I think your grades actually reflect a bit about who you are, what kind of person are you, and of course we are all human. We tend to be impressed with students that, you know, wow, this student is a prize winner, you know. But to me personally, you know, even back to experience that I've involved in hiring, I still find that at the end of the day, I'm looking at a lot more than just your grade. So don't have to be discouraged when your grades are just mediocre. You know, the only reason why ACCA don't have, you know, distinction credit, they only have pass and fail. It's because professionals are very clear. So the distinction of whether you're a competent professional or you're competent, and your competency is reflected the moment you pass the paper. So that is why we always been telling people that there's no such thing as I'm a better ACCA and you're not a so better ACCA because I have 90 marks and you have 51 marks. Not that, okay? But it does reflect on that person. You know, for example, I can give you an example, like if when we go through the results of a student and I notice that this particular student, the transcript show that the student failed one particular exam and the marks was like probably 30 something. Then in the next attempt, I saw the students did like very, very well, like got 70 marks on the second attempt. Now that tells a story. What has happened? Okay, you know, in fact, when students been through a lot of ups and downs in life, we think that person is even better prepared in managing a lot of things that they're going to face in real life. So yes, grades will be something that people will look at, but it will not be the sole factor. And end of the day, the recruiter will look beyond that. But it's always yourself that you're going to sell to people. You know, that is a story that you need to tell. You know, all these people that they come back very strongly. You know, all that, I mean, people like to look at figures like billionaires and so on, and they always like to tell you. You look at KFC. He has been telling how he has failed in his whole life until he come back and became so successful in starting KFC. But that story is something that sells very well. So grades doesn't matter much, but it's how you walk this journey that matters a lot. Now that's my personal view, okay? So of course, different recruiters may have different criteria.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lau. Very influential. Mr. Ha, I have a final question for you. In Deloitte, what kind of fresh grad candidates is preferred or more likely to get hired, like with internship experience, or should they have any other kind of experience before, you know, they apply for a position in Deloitte?
Okay, so I think Mr. Lau has helped me answer a big portion of that question already. Okay, so thank you, Lau, for that. Okay, so I think the first thing that we must clarify, yeah, okay, is that for Deloitte requirement, okay, if you want to join audit, okay, audit and assurance, you must take advanced audit, okay. All right, so we have got many situations where we have got candidates who were unaware, all right, and you know, and they were pretty disappointed lah after that, okay, because they didn't take the right paper, okay. So what I understand is for most people it's not too late. If you think you know, we have candidates who took all papers I've seen before, yeah, include all the optional papers, they took them as well, okay. So it is possible, but not necessary lah, okay. So if you want to join audit, you need to take the advanced audit paper, okay. And for taxation, for our tax services, it would be preferable if you take advanced tax, okay. All right, but the one that is a little bit sticky is our audit services, okay. Now, having that out of the way, okay, so I've been reading some of your questions here as well, yeah, on the Q&A. So try your best, guys, okay. I can't stress further, okay, to try your best to do well, okay, and if possible, pass in your first attempt, if possible, okay. And if you can't do that, okay, then at the very least, you know, do extremely well in your second attempt, okay. All right, so we have got a lot of situations like that where candidates have these kinds of you know, and like what Mr. Lau has said just now, you know, you face a lot of challenges, you know, all of us sometimes, you know, we got some students who fell sick. We have students who had some issues with finance and things like that, you know, a lot of problems here and there, a lot of things that, you know, affect their performances as well, okay. So those are key things, guys, all right. So, but like I said, other than that, you know, you need to work on that, on that part where you try to be your best to be an all-rounder. And then on the part where you need like internship experience. Okay, so now I understand for ACCA students, you don't have internship built into your syllabus, because everybody, the key thing is to take your exams and pass and be done with it as quickly as possible, right? That's why I understand. Okay, so now this is a suggestion. Okay, we do also have got ACCA students, right, who actually defer their studies. Okay, hopefully I'm not causing problem for Mr. Lau here. Okay, they actually decide to okay, they actually decide to skip one exam sitting or something like that in order for them to go for a 3-month internship, for example. Okay, we have situation, we have got and it's starting to pick up in popularity. Okay, all right, but do this with proper guidance. Okay, please consult, allow your teachers, your lecturers thoroughly, okay, before you make any such decision. Okay,
research is important.
Yes, research is important. Okay, make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, all right, but it is absolutely not necessary. Okay, if you do not have an internship experience, fine. Okay, no problem. Upon joining the firm, you still have to go through our trainings, our e-learnings, and all that stuff anyway. So, yeah, so a couple of suggestions for you all to consider. Okay.
Again, I would like to add to Vincent, simply because I would like to share 2 examples of our ACCA student. I think, Vincent, if you remember, you came for a recruitment drive last year or 2018. I can't really remember which year was that. And one of our girl actually was offered into Deloitte, and she applied for assurance. But we don't offer, I mean, we offer the advanced audit, but she did not take advanced audit. So she took advanced finance and advanced taxation. But she was offered assurance on the condition that she must pass the advanced audit paper. So actually, there are a lot of students not aware of this. Even when you've graduated your ACCA, you can actually sit for the additional option papers that you have not set. So this girl actually was very gung-ho. So what she did was she came back to us and said that she was offered a job in Deloitte and she needed advanced audit, and she's waiting for she's waiting for her results being a finalist, and she asked us whether she can prepare for the advanced audit paper. So we have the option where she actually studied through online, where she actually go through all the videos of all the classes. So she actually studied the advanced audit paper in 2 months. So when the result came out, she knows she graduated, and then she sat for the advanced audit paper in, okay, let's say she passed in June. She sat in September exam, and she passed that as well. She's not that kind of top student. Her marks was like just basic kind of average marks, but that shows the determination, and that shows the availability of option that ACCA students can have. And I always wanted to use her as an example for marketing, because it's very rare to get students to finish beyond 2 option paper. Then in terms of Vincent, when you say students stop the study and then do internship, I would like to quote our student Ariana. So Ariana is actually a prize winner, and then what she did was this particular semester she was supposed to continue her study in the strategic papers, but she has talked to us that she wanted to get some exposure in work before she wants to continue the strategic paper. And we're very happy to tell her that, being a professional student, the versatility is there, the flexibility is there. So if you want that, then why not? So she really took a 6 months so-called gap break or semester's break, and then she will only come back this July. In fact, she just had a conversation with me a few weeks back because of the MCO. She said that actually, if she had started the study, she still will be affected. So I think this is some kind of like maybe God's blessing to her plan. So well that's option. Okay, that's option. Sorry, I always add a lot of things. Sorry.
No, that definitely. And now, make sure she comes back. Okay, we have got some who join us, and they enjoy working so much that they stop studying. Okay, just joking lah. Okay, maybe. So make sure they come back to complete their studies as well. All right. So yeah, thank you. I just wanted to add that on.
All right, thank you, everyone. Unfortunately, we are out of time, and I would like to thank all 4 speakers for sharing their knowledge with us today. It was very helpful to give future graduates an insight on what to expect when pursuing CAT and ACCA qualification and how it would help benefit them in the future. Thank you all once again for joining us for this coffee talk, and I hope to see all of you soon. And wishing everyone a good day, stay safe, and God bless. Bye-bye.